So I think because SCAS already was the coordinator of the national flu pandemic, so when COVID came along, it was a natural choice for us to be the coordinators through 111 for delivering and standing up the service. But what that meant is we were all trusts were in a time where you had to become very thin with regards to the amount of meetings that you were having. You couldn't meet in the ordinary way that you may have done in the past. So we all had to think about changing our governance structures. So many of trusts up and down the country went to having online meetings, and we recorded our online meetings for those meetings in public so that we could then post that and make it accessible to the public. But it also meant that in terms of decision making, you had to be fleet of foot. So you still had to have robust procedures with regards to the decisions that you were taking. But what we found is we were meeting, and we were able to meet virtually more regularly with our non-executive directors, and so that they could be briefed with regards to what the trust was doing in delivering a service to meet COVID, but also to ensure that those decisions could be made, some of which had to be given delegated authorities, but it meant that our NEDs were constantly kept up to speed in terms of decisions being made and how the service was having to be adapted and changed. We have got, I think it's, a series of A's, as we call it. It's in our reflective practice. What do we want to abandon? What do we want to adopt? What do we want to adapt? And then, and is there anything else that we ought to be thinking about? So that's a good kind of structure which gets you to reflect back on what worked well, what didn't work well, and what do we want to use in the future, but how might we adapt it to suit our purposes going forward? We've all seen it as an opportunity to accelerate system working, absolutely. So whereas in the past, people were very much focused on what does the system architecture look like, the burning platform came along and everybody thought, right, we've got to put the fire out and now we've got to make sure the fire doesn't continue. Or that another fire pops up. So with a focused energy, people have come together and been sharing decisions and sharing assets as well across the system. So that's been really helpful.